Why 2026 could mark a new phase of harmony and truth for Libra. Something is different about this year, Libra. You may have already sensed it in the quiet moments between your waking thoughts, in the way certain memories keep surfacing, in the way your heart seems to be reaching for something it cannot quite name. The energy of 2026 carries a frequency that resonates deeply with who you are at your core, and if you pay close attention, you will feel it calling you toward a version of your life that is more honest, more harmonious, and more aligned with the truth of who you really are. This is not just another year. This is a turning point, and what unfolds between now and the end of it could redefine everything you thought you knew about yourself and about what is possible for you. New Phase 1. Let us begin with what harmony actually means for you as a Libra, because it is not what most people think. Most people assume that harmony means everything is peaceful, everyone is getting along, and there are no conflicts or tensions to navigate. But you know better than that. You have lived long enough to understand that real harmony is not the absence of tension. It is the artful management of it. It is the ability to hold opposing forces in balance, to find the music in the discord, to create beauty from chaos. And in 2026, your capacity for this kind of deep, authentic harmony is being activated in ways it has not been for years. The planetary alignments this year are creating conditions that specifically favor Libra's natural gifts. Your ability to see both sides of every situation, your instinct for fairness and justice, your talent for bringing people together and finding common ground. All of these abilities are being amplified and refined. But there is an important difference between the way you have used these gifts in the past and the way you are being called to use them now. In the past, you often used your gift for harmony to keep the peace at your own expense. You smoothed things over, you compromised when you should not have, you sacrificed your own needs and desires to maintain the comfort of others. And while that approach kept the surface of your life looking calm and pleasant, it created a deep imbalance within you. An imbalance that has been growing for years, perhaps even decades. But 2026 is the year when that inner imbalance begins to correct itself. Not through some dramatic external event, but through a gradual, powerful shift in the way you relate to yourself, to others, and to the concept of harmony itself. You are learning, finally and irrevocably, that harmony without truth is not harmony at all. It is performance. And you are done performing. New Phase 2. The truth component of what is unfolding for you this year is perhaps even more significant than the harmony component. Because for a long time, Libra, you have been living with a certain level of dishonesty that you may not have even recognized as dishonesty. Not lying in the conventional sense, no. You are far too principled for that. But a subtler kind of untruth that comes from consistently suppressing your real feelings, your real opinions, your real desires in order to maintain the illusion of harmony. Every time you said yes when you meant no, every time you smiled when you wanted to cry, every time you agreed with someone when you actually disagreed, you were not being true to yourself. And that accumulated untruth has created a weight on your soul that you have been carrying for far too long. In 2026, that weight is beginning to lift. You are finding your voice, Libra. Not a loud, aggressive voice. That would never be your style. But a clear, calm, unwavering voice that speaks your truth with grace and without apology. This voice has always been inside you, waiting for the right moment to emerge. And the right moment is now. You may have already noticed its early stirrings. Perhaps you said something recently that surprised you with its directness. Perhaps you made a decision that prioritized your own well-being over someone else's expectations. Perhaps you set a boundary that you would have been too afraid to set even a year ago. These are the first notes of your new voice, and as the year progresses, they will grow stronger, more confident, more melodious. And the most beautiful thing about this is that your truth and your harmony are not in conflict with each other. They are partners. When you speak your truth, you create the conditions for genuine harmony, the kind that is built on authenticity rather than pretense. And that kind of harmony is unshakable. New Phase 3. There is something specific about the energetic landscape of 2026 that makes it uniquely suited for the kind of transformation you are experiencing. The cosmic currents this year are flowing in a direction that favors depth over superficiality, substance over appearance, inner wealth over outer show. And for a sign that has sometimes been unfairly characterized as being overly concerned with appearances, this is a tremendously liberating energy. Because the truth about you, Libra, is that you have always craved depth. You have always wanted your relationships to be meaningful, your work to be purposeful, your life to be about something more than just getting through the day. But the world has not always made it easy for you to pursue that depth. The world has often rewarded you for being pleasant and accommodating, rather than for being authentic and deep. And so you learned to play a role, to wear a mask of agreeableness that protected you from conflict, but also separated you from your own deepest truths. In 2026, that mask is coming off. Not violently, not painfully, but naturally, like a flower opening to the sun. You are ready to be seen as you really are, not as you have been pretending to be. And the people who truly love you, the ones who deserve to be in your life, will love what they see. They will love your realness more than they ever loved your performance. They will be drawn to your authenticity in a way that they were never drawn to your people-pleasing. And the relationships that grow from this foundation of truth will be the most nourishing, most satisfying, most harmonious relationships you have ever experienced. Because they will be real, completely, unapologetically, beautifully real. And real is what you have been hungry for all along. New Phase 4. Let us talk about what this new phase of harmony and truth might look like in the most practical areas of your life, starting with your daily experience. You may notice that your tolerance for things that drain your energy is rapidly decreasing. Activities that used to feel merely tedious now feel almost intolerable. Conversations that used to feel mildly uncomfortable now feel deeply wrong. Environments that used to feel simply uninspiring now feel actively stifling. This is not you becoming difficult or demanding. This is you becoming honest. Your internal compass is recalibrating, and it is now pointing with far greater precision toward what truly nourishes you and away from what depletes you. Trust this recalibration, Libra. It is one of the most valuable gifts that 2026 is bringing you. Because when you can clearly distinguish between what feeds your soul and what starves it, you can make choices that lead to genuine well-being rather than mere survival. You can restructure your days around activities that bring you alive. You can reorganize your priorities around values that actually matter to you. You can redesign your life not from scratch but from truth. And a life designed from truth is a life that works. Not perfectly, because nothing in the human experience is perfect, but authentically, which is something far more valuable than perfection. An authentic life has room for mistakes and learning and growth. It has room for messy emotions and uncomfortable conversations and imperfect solutions. It has room for you, the real you, in all your complex, contradictory, magnificent glory. And that is the life you are building now, one truthful choice at a time. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. New Phase 5. There is another dimension of this new phase that we need to explore, and it has to do with your relationship to time itself. For much of your life, Libra, you have had a complicated relationship with time. You have often felt like you were running out of it, like the important things kept getting pushed to tomorrow, like the life you really wanted to live was always just around the next corner, waiting for conditions to be right. But in 2026, something is shifting in the way you experience time. It is becoming less of an enemy and more of an ally. You are beginning to understand that the years you have already lived are not subtracted from your potential but added to it. Every year of experience, every season of growth, every cycle of challenge and recovery has made you more capable, more discerning, more powerful than you were before. Time has not diminished you, Libra. It has concentrated you. Like a fine wine that becomes more complex and valuable with age, you have been developing flavors and depths that simply were not there in your younger years. And 2026 is the year when you finally begin to taste how good you have become. This shift in your relationship to time has practical implications. You may find yourself less willing to waste time on things that do not matter and more willing to invest time in things that do. You may find yourself less anxious about the future and more present in the now. You may find yourself less nostalgic for the past and more excited about what is unfolding today. Right here, right now, in this very moment. This is the gift of temporal freedom, and it is one of the most liberating things a person can experience. When you stop fighting time and start flowing with it, when you stop mourning what has passed and start celebrating what is present, everything changes. Your energy increases. Your creativity expands. Your capacity for joy deepens. And your life begins to feel less like a countdown and more like an adventure. New Phase 6. There is a particular area of your life where the intersection of harmony and truth is going to produce the most dramatic results, and that is in your closest relationships. Whether with a partner, with family members, with old friends, or with new connections that are just beginning to form, the relationships in your life are about to undergo a significant upgrade. Not because the other people are changing, although they may be, but because you are changing. You are bringing a new level of honesty and authenticity to every interaction, and that new level is going to transform the dynamics of your relationships in ways that might initially feel uncomfortable, but will ultimately feel liberating. Some relationships will deepen. Others will naturally evolve. A few might come to a gentle, graceful conclusion. And all of this is part of the harmonious rebalancing that 2026 is bringing to your relational world. The key here is to trust the process without trying to control the outcome. Your natural instinct as a Libra is to manage relationships, to ensure that everyone is happy and that no one feels hurt or left out. But in this new phase, you are learning that you cannot manage other people's emotional experiences without sacrificing your own. You are learning that true harmony in relationships requires two people who are both willing to be honest, both willing to be vulnerable, both willing to do the hard work of showing up as their real selves. And you can only control your half of that equation. What you can do and what you are being called to do is to show up fully, to be present, honest, and open, to let people see who you really are and let them decide how they want to respond. This takes enormous courage, especially for someone who has spent a lifetime trying to ensure that every response is a positive one. But the freedom that comes from releasing that need for universal approval is worth every moment of discomfort. New Phase 7. Here is something about 2026 that you may find particularly exciting. This year carries a creative energy that is specifically attuned to your sign, and it is an energy that wants to express itself through you. Creativity for a Libra is not limited to artistic pursuits, although those are certainly included. Your creativity expresses itself in the way you solve problems, the way you design your living space, the way you bring people together, the way you find beauty in unexpected places. And in 2026, this creative energy is going to flow more freely and more powerfully through you than it has in a very long time. You may find yourself drawn to creative projects you had set aside years ago. You may discover new forms of creative expression that you had never considered before. You may begin to see your entire life as a creative project, a work of art that you are constantly shaping and refining, according to your deepest values and your truest vision. This creative awakening is directly connected to the truth component of your 2026 transformation, because creativity, real creativity, requires honesty. It requires the willingness to express what is genuinely inside you, not what you think others want to see. And as you become more truthful in all areas of your life, your creative channels open wider and wider, allowing more inspiration, more ideas, more beauty to flow through you and into the world. Do not resist this creative impulse, Libra. Do not tell yourself you are not creative enough or talented enough, or that it is too late to start something new. Those are old stories from an old season of your life. This is a new season. And in this season, your creativity is not just welcome, it is essential. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. New Phase 8. As this new phase of harmony and truth continues to unfold, you are going to notice something interesting happening with your intuition. It is getting sharper, clearer, more reliable. For years, you may have struggled to trust your gut feelings because your natural tendency to see all sides of every situation sometimes made it difficult to know which inner voice to listen to. But in 2026, the noise is beginning to quiet down. The competing voices are harmonizing into a single clear tone that tells you exactly what you need to know at exactly the right moment. This heightened intuition is a direct result of the truthfulness you are cultivating. When you stop lying to yourself, when you stop pretending things are fine when they are not, when you stop ignoring the signals your body and soul have been sending you for years, your intuitive channels clear themselves naturally. It is like cleaning a window that has been dirty for so long that you forgot it was supposed to be transparent. Suddenly, you can see through it. Suddenly, the landscape on the other side is vivid and detailed and full of information that was always there but that you could not access. This intuitive clarity is going to serve you tremendously in the months ahead. It will help you make decisions with greater confidence. It will help you navigate complex situations with greater ease. It will help you identify opportunities that your logical mind might overlook and avoid pitfalls that your rational analysis might miss. Your intuition is one of your greatest assets, Libra, and in 2026, it is being upgraded to a level of precision and reliability that will astonish you. Trust it. Follow it. Let it guide you toward the truth and the harmony that are your birthright. New Phase 9. We are approaching the end of this message, but before we get there, I want to speak directly to a part of you that may still be holding back. The part that wonders if this is real. The part that has been disappointed before and is afraid to hope again. The part that whispers in the quiet of the night that maybe the best of your life is already behind you and everything from here on is just a slow, gentle decline into irrelevance. I want you to know that I understand that part of you. I respect it. It has been trying to protect you from the pain of disappointment, and that is a noble impulse. But it is wrong. It is wrong because it is operating on old data, information from a previous chapter of your life that no longer applies. The person you were when those disappointments occurred is not the person you are now. You have grown. You have evolved. You have accumulated wisdom and strength and resilience that make you far better equipped to receive and sustain the blessings that are coming. So I am asking you to do something brave, Libra. I am asking you to let that protective part of you step aside, just for a moment, and allow yourself to believe that 2026 really is different. That this new phase of harmony and truth is not just a nice idea but a genuine, tangible reality that is already beginning to manifest in your life. You do not have to believe with absolute certainty. You just have to believe enough to stay open, enough to keep your heart receptive, enough to say yes when the universe presents you with the opportunities and blessings that are on their way. That is all it takes. A willingness to believe. And from that willingness, everything else will grow. New Phase 10. And so here we are, Libra, standing together at the entrance to something truly extraordinary. The year 2026 is not just another year on the calendar. It is a gateway, a portal between who you have been and who you are becoming. And the journey through that portal is one of the most significant journeys you will ever take, because it leads to a version of your life that is built on a foundation of genuine harmony and radical truth. Not the kind of harmony that requires you to be someone you are not. Not the kind of truth that comes with cruelty or harshness, but the kind of harmony that emerges when all the parts of you are finally in agreement, when your outer life matches your inner reality, when what you do and what you say and what you believe are all aligned in perfect, authentic coherence. That is what is available to you now. That is what 2026 is offering. And all you have to do is accept the offer. Accept it by choosing honesty over pretense every single day. Accept it by choosing depth over superficiality, even when superficiality is easier. Accept it by choosing yourself not in a selfish way, but in a sacred way that honors the beautiful, complex, deeply feeling soul that you are. You have waited a long time for a year like this, Libra. A year that understands you. A year that is designed to bring out the very best of who you are. A year that holds the promise of the kind of life you have always secretly dreamed about, but never quite dared to believe was possible. Well, it is possible. It is more than possible. It is already happening. And the only thing standing between you and the full realization of this new phase is the willingness to step forward and claim it as your own. You have two options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.